Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully we get everybody joining us and everything. A lot of you are jumping in to the chat right now. I was a little late putting out the announcement of what class was tonight. And sorry about that. But hopefully everybody joins us. How is everybody doing? All right. So, tonight, I thought I would take you on a journey with me. I don't know, a lot of you may or may not know, but, you know, not too long back, I started going to the gym again each day and working out, I'm not getting any younger, so I need to start getting healthier. And I love my gym time and everything. I'd like to bring a little bit of that home with me to be able to do some in-home exercises and things when I just can't get to the gym. You know, schedule's tight, a lot of trainings or something, only have a little bit of time in between, just can't get down there. I'd like to be able to, you know, have a place to work out so I don't miss a workout. So in kind of designing my outdoor calisthenics gym and my indoor facility, there's a lot of different things that I need to make. I need to make racks and stuff for my resistance bands. I need to make racks for my dumbbells and all kinds of different things. And there's some different pull-up bars and climbing rack walls and stuff. So there's all kinds of neat little things that I want to make out of wood that would be fun for me to make, really enjoyable. I could make them into my own design and liking, and you know, rather than just going out and buying them retail and stuff. So I'm going to be designing some parts that I'm going to be building. We're going to build them live on Build It TV. But there's also going to be some things that the CNC is going to be cutting, you know, the dumbbell racks and stuff like that. So we're going to jump into Vectric and we're going to make some designs and figured you might pick up something out of it. You know, you might not be making gym equipment, but, you know, the design phase of things, you might get something out of it, right? So join me, you know. And of course, if you have any questions about anything with regards to the software, ask. All right, just ask, and we'll go from there. So let me get the software open and going here. Bear with me. So how's everybody doing tonight? If you do have questions about something or whatever, put a like a question mark or something in front of your question so I can visually and easily identify it in the chat area and stuff. That would be helpful to me and everything. Mister. Let's see here. I thought I saw one already. Oh, okay. I'm seeing things. I am seeing things. All right. So let's jump over into the software. That is going to be on camera number 3. There we go. And let's get me down in the bottom left corner. And I got a bit of a shadow happening here. Let's see. Bear with me a second. I got to get my lighting going. All right. A little bit of a shadow there. You can kind of see an outline right over here. So I'll try to keep that out of the, unfortunately, I'll try to keep that out of the screenshot as much as possible. We'll let me see if I can do something about that really quickly. let's go up here and there we go. That looks a little cleaner out of your way. All right, guys and girls, let's get started. So let me kind of give you an idea. We'll just go through a couple of little things to give you an idea of what we're going to be making. Let's pull up. Let me see if I can pull up a couple of things. These are different things that I'm going to be using for inspiration. These are different images that I'll be using for inspiration. If they load. All right, so we're going to be creating some form of dumbbell rack. Some form of a dumbbell rack. Now, my dumbbells are going to be rubber octagon dumbbells. So we got to make them for that. This one uses some kind of metal bolts and stuff that the dumbbell hooks on. Not going to do that. We're going to cut out some nice grooves. Going to design something nice for the CNC to cut out, but it's going to be something similar to this. We're going to be making a slant board of sorts for stretching my calves and things. Let's see. So something along this line here that can be adjusted to different angles for stretching and stuff. So we're going to kind of work with something with that. And I want some type of climbing rack that, let's see if I can back up here. That will, that I can use. This is kind of going to be designed off of a French cleat system. If any of you are familiar with French cleats in the shop, for hanging things, the kind of pull-up bar, if you will, kind of hooks around the rods, and there's some notches and everything, so it, fits in kind of like a French cleat system and all, and it can be adjusted up or down. So I can work on my calisthenics, the human flag and my stretching and different things like that. I can put my resistance bands, that is a nativity scene. I don't know, we're going the wrong way. I could put my resistance bands on the rack as a base or support for my full body workouts with my resistant band workouts and stuff. So a adult size version of this rack, right? So we're going to come up with, do some things there. And then there's a few other little things, push-up handles and all that good stuff. So fun little things that we could probably lay out and design. And let me close out of all this. And let me see if I can show you one last thing. We're going to be, let me pull up my SketchUp and all that wonderful jazz. Let me pull up my SketchUp. SketchUp, it's coming. It's a popping up here somewhere. I think it's a little cold right now to be outside working out outdoors. But let's see here. All right, so I've laid out, let me get this moved around here. I've laid out a jump box that's going to be 16 inches, 20 inches, 24 inches that I can flip in 3 different directions for jumping and all. But let's back up here. This is going to be the start of my outdoor gym. We're going to go with, I'm either going to go with 4x6 or 6x6 posts. But we're going to have coming in to the, let's see if I have a, I don't know if I have a better, no, I don't have a better example other than what I drew up here. I'm not done with it yet. There's going to be parallel bars for my weighted dips and dips, pull-up bars. There'll be 2 different sets of pull-up bars. So this thing is going to take up when it's all finished and said and done, it's going to take up a 25 foot by 25 foot area. So this will all be I mean, for the better part of the word, a ninja warrior course, right? If you will, with all kinds of different workout areas and stuff. There's going to be my punching bag and everything will be out here, and everything. So my full outdoor workout stuff is here, and then I'm going to have my indoor workout equipment and all that. And you know, for the most part, my free weights and all that stuff, that's actually going to be a workout rack that I'm going to be buying and everything. But a lot of the stuff I want to make out of wood. I want to make my own and everything. So so this jump box we're going to design too, and bring in it's cut out of 3/4 inch plywood. And if we open up one of the inside, let's open up the inside here. Hide this, not the whole thing there, buddy boy. Hold on a second. Let me get in here and hide that. There we go. There's a stability brace inside, so that when I'm jumping up and down and climbing up and down on this thing, that it's supported. So there'll be a stability brace built inside of that. So we'll lay that out as well. Let me see if I can pull that out. Let's go move. Come on out of here. There we go. So there'll be a stability brace inside that plywood box. We're going to lay out and design that as well to cut those little parts. Now, of course, this is super simple. I could cut this out on the CNC, or I'm sorry, the table saw and all that stuff. But let's see if I can move this out of the way. Move. There's 2 notches and everything. Oops. So those 2 parts fit together. So anyway, got a few little things to lay out today. So hopefully you can join me and we get you know, something, you know, done. Yeah, so this will be kind of the start. This is kind of as far as I've gotten today. And I've got a lot of things that I'll be adding to this over time. And yeah, it's just going to be like a kid's jungle gym, right? If you will, or a little park in my backyard. Okay, so let's get back to our Vectric software, and I have not pre-designed any of this stuff that I just showed you as far as the little climbing rack and the weight rack and all that. All that, you're going to kind of go along with me on the journey. So as far as the design aspect and everything goes. Let's start off with our, I think our slant board. That will stretch your calves. It can go from, you know, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45 degree angles and all that stuff. And, you know, to stretch your calves and all that good stuff. Let's start with that. That'll be our basic. That'll be a kind of a good starter point for us. And then we'll go from there. So let's bring up a photo here for reference, right? And basically in its closed position, this center photo here, and I really like this design. There's a lot of different ones on the market and everything like that and stuff. And this isn't, I mean, I could go buy this on eBay or Amazon or wherever the heck it was, but it's not that bad. But I want something similar to this. I don't know about the hinge system. I'll probably figure that out. But in its closed state, it's already set at a 15 degree slant. Let's see here. Of course, let me, I got one more photo for that. It's going to be the most important photo of them all. Right here. Let me open this up. And this is kind of just basically a general size. There's two sizes, like a small and medium, or large and medium, or standard, or whatever. I am not that big of a guy, but I do want to be able to have a little bit of, spread my legs, at least, shoulder width apart, right? Which, 16, the larger one will be, basically is what I'm trying to say. The larger one is going to be better, which is going to be basically 16 inches wide, 18 inches in its length, that kind of deal. So let's start out, and we're going to be working with sheets tonight. So different sheets for different parts. We're going to be working with drawing vectors. We're going to be doing some, trimming and pocketing and all kinds of stuff. So I'm sure that you'll get something out of tonight. Let's jump into it. All right, so for our first basic sheet, I'm going to start off with just a 24-inch by 24-inch sheet of material. I think I'm going to be making this out of 3/4 inch plywood, edge banded and all. It might be hardwood. I'm not sure. When I say hardwood, like a select pine or something. I'm not going freaking fancy with cherry or something like that. Even though I would love to be able to make all my equipment like a nice, man, wouldn't that be a nice aesthetic look? If all your gym equipment and your racks and all were all walnut or cherry or something like that. But that would be a little bit, I'm trying to be a little bit cost conservative on this one. So let's start 24 by 24, and I am gonna say I'm gonna be doing this out of 3/4 inch plywood, which is 23/32. Now notice that I'm typing the fraction in here in the thickness. So if I hit the equal key, that will do the fraction to decimal conversion for me. Those boxes, anywhere throughout the software, if you're new to Vectric, where you can type in a value, you can type in, you can do adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. You can do fraction to decimal conversion, imperial to metric conversion, metric to imperial conversion, feet, all kinds of things. And so, very useful stuff. I will be touching off on the material surface for this cut, and I'm going to start in the bottom left corner because I use my quick set block that touches off and sets X, Y, Z. So that's my setup, and we're going to click OK. Now, I'm going to be kind of talking, and then I'll look over and answer some questions and stuff. So now that we have our board and all laid out, let's go over and answer a quick question. I had a question here from Sylvia. Hi, Lainey. Where would I put a surfacing bit in my tool database? Surfacing bit is basically an oversized end mill. So you would put that under the end mill category, and you would set it up as an end mill. So an end mill with 2-inch diameter, 1.5-inch diameter, whatever size your surfacing bit is, it's an end mill. You want to make sure that you're stepping over at least 33.3% of the bit, for its step over, right? 33.3% of the diameter, right, is what you want for your step over. And I would recommend running that bit, if it's 1 inch or over, 16,000 RPMs would be a good RPM for that. And run it at its highest rate. So if you're running on a 2440, 150 inches a minute. If you're running on a mini carver, 125 inches a minute with a plunge of 15. Okay, hopefully that helps you there. All right, let's see here. Bob Frail says, is there a way to copy multiple toolpaths from one sheet to another? I can do each one individually, but not as a group. So we can basically save selected toolpaths as a template, and we should be able to copy them over, but we should be able to group multiple toolpaths. Let me find out something here. So let's take this, and we're going to do 2 toolpaths on this. We'll go, one as a profile. We'll just go 1/2 inch deep, 1/4 inch end mill on the outside of the line. We'll calculate that toolpath. Let's go back to that. Let's create another toolpath on that same vector. I'm just doing this just for, so we can have toolpaths. We'll do a pocket cut. Let's go 1/8 inch deep, We'll use a 1/4 inch end mill, calculate that. So I've got 2 tool paths here. Now I can group those tool paths together. And I can, let's rename this to my rectangle cut, right? We'll just, this is all fake, right? It's all going to get deleted. But anyway, so I have this group here that I should be able to, on this group, I should be able to, I don't know who's messaging me, but if you're messaging me, oh, who's messaging me? Let me see why you're messaging me. Okay, so that's nobody. All right, so that's somebody else for something different. I thought y'all were trying to get my attention, like we weren't seeing the software anymore. I was like, oh man, after all that. All right, so let's see here. I cannot right click and copy this group. Let's see here. I can create a merge toolpath. That's kind of what we did. Grouped. Save all visible toolpaths as a template. That's the way that I would do it. Save it as a template so I can open that toolpath template. I can load a toolpath template on the other sheet, kind of deal. Save selected toolpath as a template. So we could save. Let's see here. That's pretty much it on the toolpath. So I don't know, where you can copy each one individually, but not as a group. Let me see here. Let me go into the individual ones. In the menu here, I don't have an option for copy, so I'm not sure. Tell me how you do that one, Bob. But anyway, you should be able to save those as a template. Let's see here. Test toolpaths. And if I had a second sheet that was using the same toolpaths for whatever reason, let's see here. Add a new sheet. Okay, go into that sheet, make it active. Sheet 2. All right, let's open up on sheet 2, my save toolpath template. Would you like to apply the template to all sheets? No, just sheet 2. All right, so I should be able to bring it in that way. Save and open it right into that sheet as a group. That would be the way I would do it. Okay? All right, cool. All right, let's delete that. Delete all. Yes. Delete this sheet. And let's get back to our drawing. Okay. So that was a couple of questions to answer for you guys. Hopefully that helped some. And then we'll get to some other questions in a minute. Brooks Martin is throwing out an FYI. Aspire has a calculate the volume of pocket ability, which turns out to be the volume of the material minus the volume of the pocket. Big shout out to Rob at Generations Custom Creations. Cool. Okay. Good to know, Brooks. All right, let's go ahead and lay this out. So the first thing I want to do is I want to kind of lay out my side pieces. That's I've got my side. I'm gonna have 2 sides. My base, which is gonna have grooves in it. When those grooves move over, it's gonna bring that ramp up each time those grooves come over, and so it's gonna, that's gonna, raise that up, and so we will we'll get that laid out, but let's lay out our sides first because that'll be the easiest. So I'm going to use guidelines to help me out with my guidelines and stuff. And, but let me get my rectangle going here first. Okay, so the first things first, I want this to be 18 inches in length. And on the height, at the highest side, I'll determine that height with the 15-degree angle and everything. So I think I'm going to give myself a guideline here. Close. I'll resize everything in just a minute. Let's get in that size tool for a second. Let's go. I want 18 inches here. And click OK. All right. Now, on this guideline, I'm going to snap right to the bottom here. And I want to give myself on the back side about, I would say, a ½ inch at least, right? So I'm going to move or make a relative guide 1/2 inch up, 0.5. And I'm going to create that guide there. And then on that guide, let's go into its properties. And I'm going to change the angle to 15 degrees. Okay. Let me close that. Bum, 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 bum. Let me see. I need this to go up. Okay. Now, part of this 15 degrees is going to be the lid, right? So I've got my side walls, and then there's going to be a lid on here, okay, that's going to be raising up and down. Now I'm going to be making this all out of 3/4 inch material, so it's sturdy. I want a little, it's only a little thing, so it's sturdy. So I need to account for that 3/4 inch, okay, on my part. So I've got my 15-degree angle here, spanned over my 18 inches. And so I need to account for my lid. So let's take a rectangle here and let's bring that there, and it's going to be 3/4 inch thick. I'm going to drag it down here, try to snap it to that grid line there, and then I'm going to single click. I'm in transform mode on that rectangle, those little white pegs and stuff. I'm going to single click on the center square there, and that's going to give me my pivot point. And I'm going to take that pivot point and I'm going to snap it over here at the corner. That way I can pivot and rotate this part off that pivot point, right? And now I can use my rotate tool with that coordinate, where the pivot point is, and I can rotate it, 15 degrees automatically, or I could have freehand it, right, and just lined it up with the thing, I could have lined it up with the guideline and everything. So now that I've got that, let's go ahead and bring this out flush here. Nice. Okay, and so with that, I'm going to come in here on this rectangle, and I'm going to go into node editing mode, and I'm going to drag this node straight down, snap it to here. Okay, and that way, it creates my side piece. Basically, if I move this off now, this will be my side piece, right? Ta-da. Okay. Now, in that example part, the slant board, the sides, it had like a little hand groove in there, you know, for picking it up and carrying it around and stuff. I don't know. Let's see here. If I did one, it would be about 1.5 inches tall and probably about 4 inches long. And on the ends, I'm going to go into node editing on the ends, node editing, and I'm going to turn this end into an arc and this end into an arc. Okay. Let's position it right there, because now my bottom piece, right, my bottom piece of material, that bottom piece of material, the side's going to get screwed to. The bottom piece, I could really do, you know, 1/2 inch thick material, but since I just want to kind of keep it somewhat simple, I'm going to do 3/4 inch material. And since that's the case, right, since that's the case, I need to, I only made this 1/2 inch tall on this back end. I need to raise it up another 1/4 inch. Okay, need to raise it up another 1/4. So let's do that really quickly. And we're going to come here. Now, I'm just going to do it with node editing. So I'm going to go into node editing. I'm going to select this node and this node because I want them to stay at that 15-degree angle, right? That 15-degree angle together. Let me do that again. When you select your nodes, don't move them, just select them. Hold the shift key down and select that one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this straight up like that, and then I'm just going to type in how far I want to go. And I'm already at 1/2. I just need to go another 1/4, right? So 0.25, and I'm going to hit enter, and that'll raise that up another 1/4 inch. Okay, and then that way, you know, if I bring my guideline up here, I'm still there, right? And if I measure vertically from here, oh, not there, from here to here, let's see what I'm at. 0.95. Was I already at 0.75? No. Hold on a minute. Let me see what I was before. Well, I thought I was a 1/2 inch. Oh, I was already at 0.70, so I only need to go a little bit more. So same thing. I'm going to go back into node editing. I didn't realize I was that wide on the back end. I'm going to go into node editing. I'm going to select that. Hold down the shift key, select that. And I only need to move up 0.75. That is going to be 4.5 and 5 is 0. Carry the 1. 4.35. So I only need to move up 0.0435. So let's do that. Drag this straight up. Oh, you son of a gun. I was holding the wrong key. Hold that shift key. I'm going to drag this straight up. Type in my value of 0.0435 and hit enter. Wonderful. Let's take that measurement again, and I should, if I'm a smart boy, I should be at 3/4. Yeah. Okay. Cool beans. All right. Perfect. So as far as the left and right side go, let's see here. Let's get that handle. I'm going to have a 3/4 inch board. here. That's going to be the bottom, right? And it's going to have grooves in it. And every time this lid, move over here, make sure I'm snapped in there. This lid, let me put my pivot point back where it belongs. I should be able to, you know, raise up, you know, to my 30-degree angle, 45-degree angle, so on and so forth. I think 45 is the max that I'm going. Um, 20, 25, 30, 35. Yeah, probably 35. Looking at that angle now, 35 is probably about the max that I'm going. So, yeah, that'll be fine. All right, so then what I need to do is take my side piece, duplicate it. So I'm going to hold the control key down and drag out another one. So we'll put this one here. We're going to take this one and I'm going to flip it horizontally and vertically. I'm hitting the letter H for horizontal and the letter V for vertical. Okay. That way I can nest these parts to minimize my waste on this material. Maximize my yield, minimize my waste. And everything. I want to be able to, so imagine, if you will, my 3/4 inch pieces. I've got an overall width of 16 inches, okay? That's how wide, 16 by 18. And so I've already got 3/4 and 3/4 on each end. That's 1.5 inches. So from that 16, I'm taking 1.5 inches away. That leaves me 14.5 inches. And so I need, my base is going to be 14.5 inches. So let's create a rectangle that is 18 inches wide by 14.5 inches long. And should be able to nest that right on that part too. Okay. For that. Now this bottom piece is going to have those grooves. So every time that ramp goes up, there's going to be a little piece of wood that goes into a notch. Let's look at the image again. Let me see if I can. And I liked this design, but you know, we're going to have in that base, we're going to have these notches, and it's basically going to have like a little piece that's you know, hinged to the bottom of it and all. And as that ramp, that lid raises, you know, the bottom base is going to go into these notches and kind of lock it in. You know what I mean? And that'll set the different angles. And I like that design, so I want to kind of stick with that concept. I don't know about the piano hinges and all. Maybe on the back piece I can understand, but here I'm not sure. Might just use one single kind of heavy duty hinge, so it can, I don't know. It should bear some good weight. Who knows? We'll find out when we make it, won't we? So now it's going to be up to me to determine. This is where the design, you know, phase comes into it. Is how far apart my spacing on my grooves need to be, and then how deep my, you know, based on how deep my grooves are and everything. So let's take one of these parts here and hold down the control key and make a copy of it, right? I'm just going to move it off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and take a 3/4 inch piece. Bear with me a second here. All right, 0.75. Once again, I'm going to move it, hold down the control key, and I'm going to move a copy of this up here and snap it right there. And I'm going to use my pivot point. Click on that and drag that pivot point over to that corner as well. And then I'll just go into the rotate tool and rotate that relative 15 degrees. Okay, to get that into position. And then of course I'll stretch it out to, you know, be the size that it needs to be. All right, now am I going to cut the back of this, you know, so it's all nice and straight? Probably so. I'll probably end up trimming that off. I don't know. You know, it all depends on how I decide to hinge this and all that good stuff. So we'll figure that out. But what I want is I'm going to create my angles and everything, you know, up to 35 degrees. So let's start with here's how I would do it. Here's my approach. Okay. We're going to have a guideline down here at the base of the part. Okay. We're going to have a second guideline snapped here, and we're going to make that angle 15 degrees. Okay. All right, cool. And we're going to move that guideline back into position right there. Okay. Now, I'm also going to create a few more guidelines. 1, 2, 3 more. Let's see, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 degrees. So I need 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. All right, let's take this one here and let's make this 20 degrees. We're going to snap that to this corner as well. This one's going to be 25 degrees. Snap that to that corner also. 30 degrees. Snap that to that corner and 35. So I didn't need all these other ones, but we'll make this 35. And snap that to here. Okay. So this will give me, and let's take these out of the way. So this will basically show me those different angles, you know, as this door is open, right? So this will be a good place to hit save. Let's save this stuff so far. So file, save as, save early, save often kind of deal. And I'm just going to call this first project here the Slant Board. Okay, Slant Board. All right, we'll save that. And let's go over here and let's see if anybody else has any questions. Camaro says, can you show us how and where to do the Imperial to metric conversion? Absolutely, that is a great thing. So let's imagine that here's an example, right, of how of a way that you would think about using it, right? So let's imagine that I buy a plan that's in metric, and this plan tells me that I need to draw a box that's 200 millimeters by 75 millimeters, right? All right, so I'm going to come in here with my rectangle tool, and right here I'm going to type in my 200 millimeters, and I'm going to multiply that by the letter I. Multiply it by the letter I for Imperial and hit equals, and that's going to convert it to the inches. I'll take my 75 millimeters and multiply that by the letter I, and hit equals. And so then I can, you know, create that box, that, you know, 200 millimeter by 75 millimeter, which is basically 7 7/8 by, you know, 2 15/16 or close to that, right? So that's how we would convert metric to imperial, right? Let's reverse that. Let's say that I have a need for a box that is that you know, I know here it's 5 inches, right? You know, I'm kind of working in inches, but I need to convert those inches to metric for someone. I'm going to multiply that by the letter M. Multiply that by the letter M to get the millimeters, okay? So if this was, let's say, 2 inches times M equals, you know, which is 50.8 millimeters, right? So we multiply our millimeters by I to get the imperial measurements, or we multiply our imperial measurements by M to get the metric, okay? And also another little thing, the apostrophe key is for feet. So imagine if I have to draw something 2 feet, if I hit the equal sign, that's 24 inches, right? So cool deal. So good question, Camaro, and hopefully that answered it for you, right? Cool. All right, let's go back. Donnie Moss, what's everyone's go-to bit for 3D carvings? 1/8 inch tapered ball nose is kind of the go-to bit. And then as the more detail required in the 3D carving, then you're going to go down, you know, 16th inch, 32nd inch, that kind of deal. You know, tapered ball noses and stuff. But 1/8 inch is kind of your go-to. Okay. Let's see here. You're welcome, Bob. Let's see here. My favorite 3D carving bit. Okay, cool. Good. All right, so let's get back to this. That was all the questions that we had so far. So now I've got my angles laid out. By the way, to get to a guideline properties box, you just put your mouse over the guideline and right click, and then you can get to the properties. And so you can get the, you know, of that selected guide that you right clicked on, you can get your position or angle. You can make relative guides in relationship to that, you know, if they have to be a certain distance apart, that kind of deal. All right, now I'm going to take, basically, I'm going to take my piece here, and I'm going to be copy and pasting, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to be rotating the part. So, but I'm not going to copy and paste immediately back to back. What I mean by that is let me show you here. I'm going to turn off the guidelines for 1 second. That's that little corner box right here. And I'm going to take this part and I'm going to Control C for copy, or I could have right clicked on it and just click copy right here, right? And Control C is the keyboard shortcut. Now I'm going to take this part and I'm going to rotate it. Okay, so I'm going to come in and rotate this part. I've still got my pivot there. I'm going to rotate it 20 degrees, right? It's already at 15, right, on that absolute. So I can change that absolute to 20 and click apply to move it up. Now I'm going to click my paste, Control V for paste. And because I copied that shape in its original place there, that's where it's automatically going to paste. So I took my object, I copied it, I moved that object where I wanted it, and then I pasted a copy where the original was. Okay, so the original's still at the 15 degree, right? So once again, I'll take that same object that's at 15 degrees here. I'm going to hit Control C. I'm going to take that object and I'm going to go into my pivot, and it's absolute. I'm going to, let's go 25, right? 25 degrees, and click apply, and then paste, Control V. That, close this first. Control V to paste, and that puts that original one back there. So I'm using that original to make my copies, but I'm actually pasting the copy back where the original was because I'm actually moving that original, right? So so that's 25, 15, 20, 25. We got 2 more. Let's Control C to copy. Go into rotate. Let's change this to 15, 20, 20, 30. And click apply. And then close this tool, and then you can paste Control V, right, to put that back. And one more. So let's go Control C to copy, rotate, change this absolute to 35, apply, and close that tool, and then Control V for the paste to put that back. So now I have my kind of a simulation of my lid closed at 15, then up at 20, 25, 30, 35, right? 35 is going to be the maximum. Okay, cool beans, right? You guys good there? Awesome. All right, now what I can do now is I can determine, you know, kind of like my my hinge piece, right? I need to, you know, this block of wood that's going to be in here, I need to know how far it needs to hinge out to get the height. Now, the further out is going to be the lower, and then as it comes in closer, that's what's going to raise the ramp, right? So basically, this is my base down here. Okay, that's my base. And what I'm going to do is let's make this some different colors so they stand out for you all. We're going to put it on different layers. So we're going to learn a little bit about layers here. So let's go ahead and let's create add a new layer and call it our base. Okay. Let's add a new layer and call it our sides. Side. We'll just do side. Since we're looking at it one side view. And then we'll do one for 15 degrees, one for 20, one for 25, one for 30, and one for 35. Okay, and then we'll take these parts. Let's give them some different colors here. We'll make the base, right? That's the main color base here. Let's make this kind of a orange. We'll see how that stands out in just a minute. The side will go with kind of a green. And then our 15, let's go with a blue. 20, let's go with red. 25, let's go with a sky blue. And 30, let's go with a orange, and we'll leave it at that. Now let's take our vectors and let's move them over into place. So we'll take our base here and move that to the base layer. We'll take our side. Oh, that might not stand. That might not come. We're going to change that color. That doesn't come out very clear for you guys. The side, we'll move that to the side layer. See how that shows up. Yeah, that first one. Let's change the color on the first one. I need something that you guys and girls can see. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Can y'all see that purple? Y'all can see that pretty decent. We'll move it over on the board in just a second so everybody can see it a little bit better. All right, so 15 degrees. Let's move that over to 15. Move this over to 20. Move this over to 25. This is where layers really comes in very handy. 15, 20, 25, 30. I knew I was missing a layer. This is 30. Move to 30 and move to layer number 2, and let's go back up here and rename layer number 2 to 35. 35. Okay. Now let's get on the board here. I'm going to take these objects here. That's going to be my base because we're going to be we got to still lay out our base and all, but I'm going to move them just for the time being. Move them over here. so we can get this on the board so we can kind of work with it, and y'all can see, have a white background a little bit so you can see the colors a little bit clearer. Okay. I didn't think the whole slant board was going to take up 45 minutes. Oh my goodness. But interesting stuff here. Okay. So we're going to have a 3/4 inch piece of material. Let me do this. 3/4 inch piece of material. 0.75. That is going to have a let's try that again. 0.75. And let's start off with, I'm going to start off with 10 inches just for a moment. Okay, now this part is going to have a kind of almost like a miter on the end of it, where it's going to dig into this slot that's going to go in here. Now my slot is not going to be mitered. I thought about, you know, like, oh, what if I cut dovetail slots or something in there? And but no, that's not gonna work. It's just gonna be a square slot, you know, in the bottom base there, and then this is gonna come in. It's gonna kind of hook when it comes in. So imagine, if you will, let's come over here. I'm gonna rotate this part, this piece. Let's put it on a, move to a new layer. We'll call this layer our support, right? Our riser or support, whatever you want to call it. We'll call it our support. And we'll make it black, right, so you can see it. But we're going to take this and let's rotate it off this corner over here. And let's rotate it 15 degrees, and it should go on the other way. Let's do that again. Okay. And let's actually 330 degrees. There we go. All right. So basically a 30-degree rotation here. When this part is in this base, wherever it's gonna fall, we got to figure out what slot, you know, it's gonna be to get that, you know, 30-degree rise and all that stuff. I don't want it to be so far back here. I don't want it to be so far back here that you know, this is kind of flimsy here. So let's get this into a position. We'll rotate it here in just a second. Let me find my, let's see, 15, 20, 25. Here, let's just do 25. All right, now if I snap this to this corner right here, right? Because remember, there's going to be a hinge on this. I need to rotate off that corner. I need to kind of rotate this down. You know, imagine there's going to be a hinge here, right? And that hinge, this door, when it's closed, we'll figure out how that's going to lay out. But when it comes up, it can only go so far to, let's go back to this, not that drawing. That's not the right one. Nope, that's not the right one either. Hold on. I'll get it here in just a second. Well, yeah, that could work. All right, so on that piano hinge and everything, you know, it's going to hinge to a certain, you know, to get to a certain height. You know, it's going to hinge and, you know, hook in to, you know, that slot, and it's going to have a beveled edge, so it kind of digs into that slot, you know, and everything. But you see how it's always perpendicular to that part with that hinge, right? And so that's at it, when it's closed completely, that's at its highest spot, 35 degrees. When that hinge is closed completely, that's its highest spot. And then from there, it's going to get a little bit lower and lower and lower as that hinge opens this way. With me? You with me? You with me? Okay. So at its highest spot, let's get out of this, which is 35 degrees. Okay, and let's pivot that around. Get that pivot point on there. Okay, so at its highest spot, and there's going to be a hinge there and all, but it's still going to be the same. At its highest spot, when this thing closes, and I've got the here. Let me put the pivot point on the correct side, ladies and gentlemen, so you can see it a little bit more like realistic of how it's going to be. This hinge is going to be on this side. There you go, Laney. All right. When it closes, okay, it really can't be, you know, depending on where this gets positioned and all, it really can't be any longer than, you know, this here, right? Now the back side of this is open. It's wide open and stuff. So to determine the length of my piece, at the longest point here, when this is wide open and connecting there, it needs to be able to fit into my groove, which is way down here, right? So that means that I need to move this a little bit and lengthen it a little bit. And I need to verify that when it closes that, oh, I was just about there, right? So we need to back up just a little bit more. Out there. All right. It would help if I was. Oh, don't do that. Okay. Put my hinge back on the other side there. Okay. All right. So in my base, you know, this is going to come in and stab into my groove. Now imagine, if you will, that my groove is going to, you know, be something, right? Whatever it is. We'll figure out what length is going to be, what it's going to need here as soon as I pivot this up. And make sure that I want to be okay, I want to be kind of flush with that. I'm going to get as much as I can out of it, right? All right, so when it comes down and it's sitting there, my part is going to be kind of going into this groove, right? You know, and I'm going to basically be cutting kind of an angle on this, you know, taking that corner off. Let's see. $90 degrees. Take my scissors and trim that away, that away. And that's going to kind of dictate where my groove is, you know, the depth and position of the groove. Okay? Doesn't need to be that wide. We'll give it some play. But that's going to be kind of my groove for that 35. Are you guys with me so far? Did I lose you? How many have I put to sleep? Y'all still there? right? Okay, so that will move into that position. Now, corresponding to that, every time this moves forward and forward and forward, that's going to change the angle of this 90 degrees, right? And how it sits in that groove. So we're going to take these layers here and turn them off. So 20 is going to get turned off, 25 and 30, right? I just want, matter of fact, we'll turn off 15 as well. So 35 is really all I need on. Okay, 35. We can go ahead and I'm thinking here. I want to select this whole thing and rotate this whole thing off of this pivot point. But I'll just do one at a time. All right, so we'll do this one at a time. All right, go into our rotate tool. It's already at absolute 35. We're going to bring it down to 30. Okay. And we're going to move that down. And that's what I want. I'm going to group those two together. Let's group them together. All right, let me change my pivot here. Pivot this right here. All right, let's go into the rotate tool and see absolute. This is calling this 0, right? So because it's reading it as a square piece. So if I go negative 30, I just want to see how negative 35. Oops. Get that pivot point back on that corner. Negative 35. Okay. Negative 15. Oh, you son of a gun. I don't know why the pivot point doesn't stay where it's supposed to on this one. Negative 15. Bear with me, guys and girls. I need to see how the software is treating these two objects in relationship to relative. Let's go relative. Relative to its position, I'm going to go 5-degree increments. Negative 5-degree increments. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 15, if I go positive 5-degree increments. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, I can do that. So we'll do it as relative movements instead of absolute. Okay, we'll do it as relative instead of absolute. Yeah, we'll hit save on this. All right, so let's go ahead and go negative 5 degrees. Let's go down to that 30-degree mark. Okay, at that 30-degree mark, this hinge now, this part here, is going to let's hinge off this here. It's going to be, let me see what position it has it in. If I bring this up, okay, let's take this, hold down the control key and drag a copy. I want to kind of see. Okay, that takes me there. I wish I could cut the grooves at an angle on the CNC, you know. I probably could by tilting the board up, running the CNC, you know, cutting it at those different angles. But I'm talking about these grooves, the notches. For me, I'd normally just put it on a table saw and tilt the blade and cut it to the exact angle it needs so that the part hooks in there perfectly. Okay, so Control Y. So we bring that down and over. This part over. I'm looking at this here. And if I were going you know, based on the height, that would be that. All right, anybody got any tips on this one? This is because I haven't designed it. So if you got any tips on, hey, try this or do this. I need it to, all I care about is that it hooks in, right, to that groove. It hooks in, it's stable and supported. And I have to have enough space to get all the degree angles. So let's bring this, to a relative -5 again. And let's bring it down to our 15 degree mark, right? We'll start there and see how far out this thing has to go based on its length and all. That's basically going to be an idle state because it's sitting on the walls, right? So that doesn't need to hook into anything there. Let's take and go to our 20 degree. So that'll be a +5 degrees. Let me get my pivot point back. Okay. And then that's going to bring this part down. So right now I'm at 20. So 20 is 1 notch. 25 is 2. 30 is 3. 35 is 4. So I need 4 notches altogether. And so I need 4 notches altogether. It would be nice to be able to just perfectly evenly space them. And you know, what do y'all have? Any suggestions? Nobody. All right, nobody. All right. So let's. Okay. Let's see that. Hold down our shift key. We'll bring another, or our control key, not our shift key. All right, so we'll call that right now we'll call that notch number 1. Let's take this part, rotate it positive 5 degrees, relative 5 degrees, rotate that. Okay. Take our door hinge. It's going to swing down. Okay, this tells me that my piece here does not need to be as long as this. It doesn't need to be that length that I was thinking that it needed to be. So let's undo that. All right, let's imagine, if you will, oh, this is tricky. Normally I'd have it built and have the hinge, you know, kind of clamped on, you know, screwed to the piece that's clamped on, and then I would actually have a piece and I would kind of measure and mark and cut, measure and mark and cut, right? But I want to lay this out. I'm trying to lay this out virtually. So I can just take it to the CNC and cut the parts, right? Normally I'd be physically building a prototype, have my door, you know, piece, have a hinge and everything, and I would have this piece long, and I would just kind of be marking and seeing where I need to be, you know, for my angle, and then make a mark on my board, right? You know, physically building the prototype. We're prototyping in the software. So it's kind of blowing my mind here for a second. Let's see here. Okay. If we look at the photo, I wish they would have put dimensions there. I could have copied those dimensions, right? But no. And shout out to whoever, Strobe Tech or whatever. I'm not sure, but good design. Those notches, they're not that wide. So it's only the little point of this beveled angle. So they got this thing beveled. Probably not much. It probably comes almost down to a near point. And it's just coming and sitting in here, and there's not a whole lot of notch room, you know, on those 4 slots. And there's 4. 1, 2, 3, and it's in the 4th one now for the highest position. So let's go back. All right, let's change our thinking here on this part. Let's go into node editing mode. Let's delete this point. Let's rotate not that way. Single click to get that pivot point, and I'm moving it back up here. Okay, let's pull that up. All right, my measurement tool. I'm going to use the measurement tool to get my current angle right now. So I'm going to use an angle dimension. I'm going to click here on this corner here. I'm going to come up here and then come down to this leg. And, you know, that's 51 degrees at that current state. So let's bring this out. So I probably only need really a 45 degree bevel, right? So let's do that. Let's go into node editing. Let's select this. Come roughly right there. Delete that. All right, let's all right. I'm gonna take node editing. I'm gonna select this here, and hit the letter X on the keyboard. If I can get it, hold that shift key, select there, and hit the letter X on the keyboard. And of course that pulled that into alignment perfectly that way. I don't need to do that. I need to basically back that up. Okay, that'll get me close enough. That will get me close enough. Okay. I'm going to take a guideline. I'm going to rotate it 135 degrees. Right? Let me see here. Hold on a second. 45 and 45 is 90. Okay, that's 45. I'm trying to go the other direction, and it doesn't do negative. So that's 45, 90, straight up and down, and then 45 is 135. Okay, that's a 45-degree angle right there. Okay. Mm. 180. Wouldn't that, let's see here. 180. No. All right, guys, hold on a second. I just got stupid. Let's see here. All right, hold on. I just got stupid, so I gotta do it my way. 0.75. Make that come in here and draw a line. 45 degrees right there. Space bar. Take the scissors and trim that. There we go. Come over here and rotate that. This position was the kind of get it there. Okay. I had to recreate the part. All right, let's rotate that part. Sorry, I just got stupid there for a minute. I don't know my math. All I was trying to do is draw that, get the guideline to go to this angle here, and I went stupid there for a minute. All right, let's basically go to rotate. That's my hinge. Okay, so if this was sitting, imagine if you will, this was sitting in the bottom of that groove technically I got a friend who's 245. If he steps on this, I want it to be able to hold him. So we'll go with a groove that deep. What's throwing me off is the back here. The grooves in that image don't look that wide. You know that it needs to be that wide and stuff. Okay, we're going to just call that that. So let's move that over into position. And we'll just call that as it's digging into that groove. I need to be as precise as possible. So that would be sitting down there, which means this needs to be right about there. Close enough. Okay, so that groove, we'll call that good for that position. All right, so that's 20 degrees. Okay. If I move this to 15 degrees, yeah, okay. So that's 20 degrees. So 15 degrees would not be a notch. 20 degrees, that would kind of be my first notch right there. All right. So, and that wide spot right here, if we look at that photo, you know, it's got a kind of a wide groove here. Don't know how wide it is, but it's wide before the other one starts. And then the other ones aren't as wide. So I can see that. So now let's flip this part. That and that. Get our pivot. Oh, you son of a gun. Single click on that square, the middle square to get the pivot point. Drag it over to here. We're going to go a positive 5 degrees. Okay. Select on this piece here and rotate it down. Hold the control key down and I'm going to kind of basically drag a copy over here. And this copy is going to land where this piece will come down and sit on the bottom of that, right? So if it sits down on the bottom, then this will come up here and it doesn't need to be very wide. Okay. Okay, I can see that. All right. Let's take these two parts again. Get our pivot point on the corner. We're going to change this part, raise it up 5 degrees relative. Okay. Select this piece. Rotate it down. It's going to fall. You know, and what I want is I want the same depth all the way across on the groove. So I'll just use this groove here and hold down the control key. Drag that along. Let's get rid of this one. Probably should make that just a little bit longer. It's kind of short now. Go there. Okay. Now that doesn't give me much room there. And my pivot's off on the corner. Nice. Doesn't give me much room there. I don't think that's going to be a 5-degree pivot. So I think this part needs to be a little bit longer. You son of a gun. I can't let this keep us held up. But that's damn base. I gotta make my grooves. Let me see what all y'all got. Let me see what y'all are throwing at me here. The top of the hinge support should be perpendicular to the first bottom slot. Then angle out from there. Just my opinion. All right, Simply Wood Creations does not need to be that long. So the top of the hinge support, so that, you know, that hinge, there's going to be a piano hinge right in here. And this part essentially in its fullest degree, let me get that in its 35. Oops, I keep doing that. Okay, let me move that really quickly. 5 degrees. Okay. Now, in its 35 degrees, this part is basically, there'll be a hinge in between the parts, right? So if I come down here, there'll be a hinge. I'm not sure how wide, but there'll be a hinge in there. And this, when it's in that angle, it needs to be able to fit. It needs to come down to the base here, right? So it needs to come down to the base into a groove at that, you know, that highest position. Okay, whatever depth you know, the grooves are going to be, that's where it needs to go. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So the first groove and then the last, you know, the 15 degree that's not in a groove, everything else in between here needs to be in there. So if I'm reading this right, Russ, the top of the hinge support, the top of the hinged support should be perpendicular to the first bottom slot and then angle out from there. So in order for that to be true, if I'm understanding the word perpendicular, does that mean that there's an angle cut on the back of this? It looks angled, doesn't it? But that's in its highest slot. Isn't perpendicular straight up and down? No, right? Hold on. Hold on a second. Perpendicular line is 90 degrees. Right? 90 degrees. I'm not seeing it. All right, let's go down. Let's go to the next one. Let me see here. Hey, Ross. The bottom part in the picture looks like it's also it's on an angle also. So in the photo, that's what I'm, you know, looking at here is, you know, and it's 30 degree, it's open a little bit, but it looks like there's a little bit of a degree cut here too on the back of that part. wonder if it's a 15-degree cut. I wonder. Why is this? It's not this hard. It's not this difficult. Why am I struggling with this, guys? I'm struggling with this one. I'm pretty decent at math too. All right, let's do this. Let's take one more time. Let's take a 3/4 inch piece. Okay. Click apply. Let's draw a line. And let's see, 90, 85 degrees. Okay. And of course I went the wrong direction. Stand by a second. Ugh. Close that. Let's try that one more time. We want to go from here. Okay. All right, 85 degrees. If I go 85, that's a 15-degree cut. And that angle on that part doesn't look any more than that. It doesn't look any more than that. Okay. Let's see here. In the picture, what do the grooves look like in the part? Well, that's, I wish I could see the picture a little bit better, or the grooves, but they're just grooves, right? We've got a wide spot here. I would say that is probably about 1.5 inches wide right there. I would say that's about 1.5 inches wide. Then that's to the first groove, and then these look to be about, I don't know, inch and a quarter apart. That groove, I can't tell how far apart that is. But that angle cut here, I'm not sure, and I can't even tell. It doesn't really look like on this picture that there's an angle cut, but the other photo, it does. The other photo, it looks like there's an angle cut. Let's go to the 35 degree. Looks like there's an angle there. That could be an optical delusion on my part. But let's say that there was an angle cut there. And everything. Let's snap it there. Rotate off that point. Okay. Hold on. That need to be that long. Okay. So again, I don't know what the angle of that groove is. I honestly don't know what the angle of that groove is. And I don't even know if there is, if there's like a flat spot, here. Kind of deal. But the let's go here. What's 32? 45 and 32 is 77, right? 77. Let's just call it right there, 77. All right, take our scissors and let's trim up this, that, that, and that. And, oops. Okay, that's a 45-degree cut. Let's get rid of this. If this was coming out here and everything, that first slot, and again, I don't know how wide the slots are or anything like that. This is all part of the design phase. That's why I'm taking y'all with me. But man, I don't want, damn, it's already 9 o'clock and wasting so much time on this. We have so many other fun things to do. But this is puzzling to me. It's driving me insane, guys. It's driving me insane. The part of the bottom is not flat. It's going up at an angle. Yes. Yeah, it is. The part of the bottom is oh wait, are you saying that that's climbing at an angle? You're saying that bottom piece is climbing at an angle? I think that's an optical delusion. I think it is going straight across. This is just going down at an angle over here because the screws are straight across for the bottom piece, Kevin. I think that's just an optical illusion because this is getting shorter. Oh, on this here, this is getting shorter. It's coming down at an angle. So it looks like it's getting closer and closer to this, which in fact it is. But I think this bottom piece is flat because the screws that screw into it are coming over here. I don't think it goes up at an angle. Does anybody disagree with me on that? You posted a picture in the Facebook spindle page. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Someone posted a Facebook spindle page, spindle TV page, which I got to make a new page one day because I don't have access to that page. But let's see here. Oh, see, even Kevin drew it as a. All right, so let me save this image. Even Kevin drew it at an angle too. So both. All right, so save image as. So y'all are thinking it's at an angle as well. It could very well be. Let's take a look at the picture that he drew out. So you're thinking that there's two pieces, that there's a bottom piece and there's a picture piece. So let me show you what Kevin come up with. And this was, where'd you guys go? Big Daddy Fish. His name is Kevin too, Kevin Wilkerson and all. But all right, so now you think there's two pieces. You think there's a part. You think that there's a base and that there's another part coming up at an angle. And that's what Kevin Wilkerson said, that the bottom part is not going straight. And even Ronnie says, shouldn't the bottom slot be at an angle? It should technically be at an angle, the bottom slot. Let's see here. The hinge on the stand needs to be higher, as in about 3/4 inches of the way up the cover. Okay. Why don't you just start with the highest one first? That's what we're trying to do. Maybe back cut the kickstand, right? All right, so someone says back cut the kickstand. Ronnie says, Laney, you could use the array tool on the bottom piece to lay out the dados. I could use the array tool, but right now I'm trying to figure out the spacing and everything, Ronnie. That's the tough part for me. I'm struggling with it. But someone says that this part, hold on a minute here, that this part is angled I'm not sure. Then that handle has got to go, and I don't know how they got their handle in there. Okay. Okay. What angle? Control C to copy. Move this pivot point here. Rotate that up. Negative, what? 15 degrees? That's a little extreme. 5 degrees? Since it's moving in 5-degree increments. Okay. I could see that. The thing that gets me though is on that slot there's absolutely no hardware on that piece, securing that piece, guys. See, it's edge banded plywood. I can't really tell. It looks a little thicker here than it does on the sides. It could be an optical delusion as well, but both parts could be glued together, right? So the base and that could be glued together to create that angle, and then it just secures to the sidewalls here. All right, so this one has officially kicked my ass right here. So I am going to, in part 2, I'll have to come back to this one. I'll have to come back to this one because I'm actually going to have to go out and physically, I got to put hands on wood. I got to physically go out there and build it. And see. I got to physically go out and build it. Here, let me see. Hold on a second. Slant board design. Let me see if I can Okay, let's take it. We're going to go to Google on this one, right? So there's a lot of different approaches to a slant board. This one looks to be the easiest of them, but also the cheapest. But This one has the grooves where it hooks into the back panel, and it probably closes flat, and it's got a handle on it. That's pretty neat. This one also snaps into some, space panels to create different angles. But I'm not seeing, I wish I could, I was trying to see if there was a better layout picture to show that there's an angled piece going up. I don't see it. I don't see it as an angled piece. Let's see what this. Okay, here's a. Hold on a minute. We're going to. And of course, the one photo I want doesn't. You son of a gun. Doesn't zoom. That photo right there doesn't zoom. Okay. Man, guys, that one's got me on that one. I'm going to have to revisit it. Y'all are probably sitting there beating on the computer going, no, Laney, do this, do this, do this, do this. This is what you do. But y'all have tried to explain it in the chat, and I'm still not getting it. I don't know why. So that looks higher. Shit. Maybe it does go at an angle. I got to put hands on this one, guys. It kicked my butt. It beat me. It beat me. It beat me. Well, I've got the layout and everything. So maybe there is an angled piece. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. But here's my parts laid out for it. We'll call this the door. I'll cut these 3 parts, and then I'll lay out the base off of that. I'll cut those 3 parts out in the morning and lay this out, and then in the next class we'll come back and revisit this one. Let's kind of change course here for a minute. I hate to leave in the middle of a project, but that one's I've already wasted half an hour on it, and I'm not seeing it. I know exactly what's going on, but I'm not seeing the spacing. Rah! That pisses me off. Okay. Let's regroup. Man, that one upsets me so bad, because I'm an intelligent young man, and but I physically have to build it now to figure it out. I don't know why I can't visualize it. Oh, that upsets me. Okay. Let's go ahead and lay out for my just the next part. The next part is going to I'm going to work on is the climbing ladder. Basically, now this one I'm going to have to tile the design because it's going to be longer than my 40-inch cutting area on my table. So the job setup on this one, I'm going to be using for my side rails and everything. I'm going to be using 1x6, so they'll be 5.5 inches wide, and it's going to be pretty much floor to ceiling. And my ceiling height in my little shop is only 7 foot. So what is 7 foot is 84 inches, right? So 12 times 7 equals, I don't know why I can't think now, 84. Yep. And 3/4 inches thick. This is going to be made out of hardwood. Okay. Essentially, there's going to be 2 of these, so I'm just going to mirror this. This is going to be the one board for the base holes. The holes are my rails for the pull-ups or the climbing and everything. They are basically going to be 1.25 inches in diameter. So 1.25, and we're going to take that and center it up and down. Okay. Now, I'm going to draw a rectangle over the full size of my board here. And on this, within this 7 foot, I would like to have at least 12 rungs. Now, if we look at the photos, my goodness, photos. Man, that kicked my butt. Totally mentally just wiped me out. I don't know why I can't think right now. Let's see here. In this image here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'd like to have probably about 12 rungs in that 7 foot. Yes, 12 will be fine. So I'm going to take my circle there, and I'm going to hold down my control key. And I'm going to just drag out 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. So that's 5 pieces. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I'm going to take and select all 12 of those. I'm going to hold down my shift key and select my rectangle last. In the alignment tool, I'm going to center all of them in that rectangle, that last item I selected, so they're all stacked on top of each other right now. And then I'm going to space them horizontally on that rack. Okay. So that will take care of my spacing, even spacing for me. And let's look and see what the spacing is. Let's take a measurement. Measure horizontally. From center to center, we are, about 6 inches apart. Okay, so from center to center, all right, so that they should be, hold on. Let me snap to the right. Center. Do center. Yeah, 6.55. Center. Do center. Okay, yeah. So about 6.5, roughly about 6.5 inches apart. And that's good because when I'm doing, my flag stances and everything, my 45 degrees and my stretching and stuff, I want to be able to have, depending on my hand positions and everything, I want to be able to have that variety, have those close handles, so I can pick and choose where I want my, depending on the type of spacing that I'm doing. And so just so you can understand what I'm referring to, many of you will know what I'm talking about, but some of you may not. Let me just give you see if that comes up. So basically, that's the flag position, and there's the 45. There's, you know, this is the full flag. So on my hand positions and everything, I want to be able to, you know, I might be low or high or what have you. I want to be able to position that. So having a rung every 6 inches gives me a lot of variety. So that's what we're going to go for. Okay, so on that. Okay, and just eat a cookie and you'll feel better, right? Yeah, I wish, right? Okay. So that's going to lay that out. Now, my pull-up rack, which is going to be basically based off of a French cleat system. If any of you, you're all woodworkers, so everybody should be somewhat familiar with the French cleat system. Basically, we have a board that's got a 45-degree cut on it, and we have another board with another 45-degree, and they hook together. And it makes great ways to hang shelves, floating shelves, tool shelves, and things like that in the shop. It's very versatile. You can move things around. But that French cleat system, well, this ladder system, the pull-up bar portion of it works kind of similar to a French cleat, where it has it hooks on the top rail, and then the bottom goes into another rail, right? So no matter where you put it, you know, there's a lot of different versatile places, so you can get high or low and everything. So I could turn this thing, not turn this thing, but I could, position it down low, and it might be, something where it's holding my feet for doing, crunches or sit-ups or something. Or I could position it midway, and I can use it for a balancing, stretching rack or something. Or I could position it high where I'm doing pull-ups or hanging, stretching and things like that. So, but it can hook on those rails, wherever it is. So, we're going to draw that out, and yeah, we're going to draw that out. All right, so let's you guys have seen that. Let's move that out of the way. Okay. Let me minimize this to get back to y'all. There you are. Call technical support and trying to know where it was. Carl guy, call technical support. Hey, how was this made? But that's funny. All right, so I'm basically going to use this to kind of help me with the layout. And so let's start off with, we're going to start off with a rectangle. I always kind of start my drawings off with a rectangle of some sort, right? So let's come out here. And basically, I want that rack, when it's hooked on to that rail and everything, I want it to come out probably, let me see, I will go 20 inches. 20 inches is good. I don't want to, I was thinking 24, but 20 inches is good. All right, so what that means is on my width, let's go 20 here. I'm sorry, that's my height would be 20, not that, not my width. And then I don't know why that changed. Oh, I forgot to unlink. Let's put this back right about there. And let's bring this. I think, so I can put it in 4 positions. I think I will divide it between 3 posts where it will hook on 3 posts. All right, so let's go into node editing. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a point right about here. And I'm going to turn this into an arc. Okay. And then I'm going to delete this point here. Okay. And I'm going to bring this point, bring it down just a little bit. Something like that. I'm going to turn this into a Bezier curve. Give it just a little bit of a curl here. Okay. Something like that. All right. Now on the back side here, we're going to imagine, if you will, that this will. Let me make sure you guys. I have faith you'll figure it out. Thanks, Kool-Aid. I appreciate you, man. Kool-Aid has faith. I'll figure it out. All right, so on this rung here, this part is going to come over and hook around. And on the back side of the hook, I want a little bit of meat, right? So it's not going to go all the way. Let me see what let me measure here. From the back side of this circle to the back of the board here. And I need to go vertical. From here to here, you know, we're about 2.5 inches, and I don't need it that thick at the back on the back side. So about 1.5 inches. So this part, let's move this whole thing down. And snap it right to there. Good. All right, let's go into node editing. I am going to drag this node up and snap it right to the kind of in line with that. Right there. And I want to go past that by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to grab that node, I'm going to drag it down. And type in 1.5, make sure I'm straight before I hit enter. 1.5, hit enter. Okay, good. And this is going to be my line node, and this is going to be the node I want to align. So I'll click that, and I'm going to hit the letter Y because I need that line to move up. Okay, good. This part here is going to basically just kind of literally hook onto this rung. So all I have to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle from here to here and down like that. I'm going to go into node editing mode, and I'm going to turn this into an arc. Okay. To create that, and then I'm going to take some scissors in just a minute, but I want to kind of, I don't want it to be a tight fit, right? You know, I want to give myself a little bit of room, so that when this hooks over, that, you know, can just, it's meant to rest in here. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and just widen it up a little bit. So I'm gonna hold down the shift key and just kind of widen that. Now when this part, when it hooks on and it comes down, think of it like swinging like a lever, you know, onto that bottom part. So really the important is, let's go here, this side, I'm going to go into node editing and I'm going to kind of open this up just a little bit. Okay. Somewhat, just want to take on somewhat that shape. Select the node. I'm just going to back that off just a little bit. And then I'm going to take, basically I could just take this part here and offset it for a minute. I'll offset it outward. 0.010 of an inch, right? So 0.01. Okay. And then I can kind of see where things would kind of blend together. So I can, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this anchor right here down, and I'm going to pull this anchor here down. Good enough. I should just go to the tangents, but that's okay. Yeah, shit, let me go to the tangents. Hold on a second. Offset that outward 0.010 of an inch. Let me cut the vector right here for a minute. Cut it right there. Cut that right there. Delete. Oops, wrong one. Delete that. Okay. From all right, if I take a line and draw a line from here to here, but I don't click, if I hit the letter T on the keyboard, it should snap straight to the tangent, and then I can use my space bar. Same thing here. I'll just pick a spot. I'll trim off this excess here, but let's go here and come over to here and just hit the letter T. It'll snap to the tangent. Space bar, and then I can use my scissors, trim away the rest of that circle to create that part, and that'll come around. Let's give it go into node editing mode. Let's get rid of this point right here. From here to here, hit the letter X, pull that in alignment. That's good. This can be smoothed out a little bit, give it a little bit of smoothness, just so it's kind of nice and smooth. And that'll be fine for me on that part. Let's go ahead and click here, click there, and that will be that part that'll kind of hook on to that. Okay. I do want it to sit on this. So when I do that, if oops, Control Z, you know, if I have it, you know, coming down and hooking on that part where it is, then that takes everything out of 90-degree angle. So I'm just going to find my node right there and snap it down to there so it sits. And that's good because it's just going to be a resting point. Okay, so that takes care of that. That's going to be my part, so it'll hook on there. All right, now this one on the back side, this piece is going to come up, and basically this part is going to be a little bit taller. You'll see in just a second here. Let's go. I'm just going to freehand this. That middle rung, escape. Let's see. Oh, let's offset this outward 0.010 of an inch. That just gives me a little bit of room and everything. This needs to be, I need to be thick across the top. I'm gonna go 3/4. So let's go into node editing. Let's cut the vector right here and cut the vector right there. That way that part will stay there while I move this part up. I'm going to move it relative to its current position, 3/4 of an inch. 1 inch. I need this to have a little bit of strength. 1 inch. Yeah, 1 inch is good. Okay. So that part's going to come and it's going to hook around and down, around and down. So this is going to be turned into a Bezier curve. Okay. It's more so decorative than anything. See, we're not dealing with 45s. We're dealing with... I wonder if I can put this on its tangent. If I touch this up against here and hit the letter T... Let me get out of node editing mode. No, let's see. All right, let me delete that. Line tool. From here to this, if I touch this circle and hit the letter T, it'll snap to the tangent. That's what I want. Spacebar. Wonderful. Okay. That'll come around, and then somewhere here there'll be an arc. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just down here so the hook is a decent size. Let's see if I can hit the letter T. I don't think that'll do. All right, let's do this. Line tool. Let's pick a line right here. Hit the letter T for tangent. Spacebar. Oh, that went to the wrong tangent. Bear with me a second. Let's try that again. Line tool. Come on, Laney. You can do this. From here to here. T for tangent. Ooh, it's going to Y. All right, let's draw the line the other way. From here to here, T for tangent. Still snap into that inner circle, you son of a gun. All right. That's fine. All right, let's go to the arc node editing. Turn this into a Bezier curve. Just going to kind of pull this down. Bring this over. Actually, let's go just an arc. There we go. That's good. I mean, it is what it is. Let's trim there. Okay, that creates that little hook over that. Trim here. This is going to go around this second, so let's go into node editing. Snap that to there. That's good. That's going to rest on that. That'll create that French cleat. So this line will be, delete that span. This line will be extended from here to, there's fine. There we go. And this line will be trimmed. Okay, holy camole. All right, now there's going to be a series of 1.5 1.25 holes. Let's find the center there. So one will definitely go on the end there. And there's going to be a mortise. I think, hold on a second. Let me be smart about this. Node editing mode. Okay, I want to align to that node right there. I want to align this line to that node. So X, Y, up and down, hit the letter Y. I want to align right to that, so it'll rest also on this. And then this can actually just get positioned What are you doing, Laney? That's fine. I just want it to, it'll rub against that, you know, when, yeah, when it's hooked on. All right, just get me close to that. That's fine. Okay, so once again, there's going to be a mortise. It's going to go right about here. It's going to be 3/4 inches wide. It is going to be if I'm using a 1x4, that's 3.5. I'm going to go 1/4, 3 inches wide. Go. Because I'm going to have a tenon on another piece. So we'll do that. And I'll round off that piece to, I'll just shave off the edges and all so it fits in there. That's good. Let's go with 1/4 inch radiuses or 1/8 inch radiuses. I'll be using a 1/4 inch bit. Okay. That's going to be a support brace between the two pieces. There's going to be, you know, one on this side of the room, one on the other. That's going to be a support brace. All right, we need, I want another, let's draw a rectangle. And I don't know what that world is doing, but okay. It's going to be 1.25 inches wide, and I want it to be, let's go 12 inches long. 1.25 inches wide. You'll see what I'm doing with this in just a second. I'm going to take this and snap it right there. That'll be good. One, two, I'm going to go 3 rungs on this thing. So I'm going to take this circle, hold down the control key, drag out 2 more copies of it. I'm going to select those 3 circles. Or those other 2 circles. And on this rectangle, since I want this one right there in the center of that archway, I'm going to take this rectangle and snap it right here. And I'm just basically going to space these 2 circles in this rectangle here. I'm going to space that equal distance and centered vertically. And that'll create those 2 rungs. All right, so the outer one will be my pull-up bar, and then the inner ones, I don't know. I'll use them for something. I'll get rid of that one. Okay, that's it. So that'll be the bracket. I need 2 of these. So let's group up these parts. This, and this. First of all, let me join my lines together. So I drew those lines. I got to join them together. So into one closed vector. There we go. Now I can select that part. And let's see here. Let's see how smart I am and if I did this right. So let's select all these parts here. Group them together. Okay. Now let's rotate this. Let's rotate this part. Oops. Put that back. Let's rotate this part. Let's call this the pivot point right at the center of this circle here. Okay? Right there. All right. So, if this comes down, all right, that did not pivot like I wanted. Hold on a second. Control Z. Maybe I need the pivot point down here. Let me see. Let me see if I need the pivot point there. Nope. Oh, I'm stupid. Hold on. That has to go in the center of this circle. That pivot point. Right there. Okay. Now, when I rotate this, when it hooks on there, that part should come in and clear this and sit against it right there. Right? Good. We'll call that good. If I have to make any adjustments, I'll do it with sanding or whatever, but that should hook on there and then just lock into place. Okay. So this will be the only two parts I need for this rack. And then I'll, my rods and stuff will go in there. So that'll take care of that. That was a simple and easy one. I need 2 of these and 2 of those. And then I'll just cut a length off and put a tenon on it at the table saw for the mortise and tenon here. All right, so let's save this. File, save as, and this will be my, I just call it a climbing ladder. It's not really, I don't know, but that's what we'll call it. Okay. All right, guys. So that's 2 parts. I've still got to make the dumbbell rack and all that. We might have to do that in another class because we've already been at this 3 hours because the hell, I can't even remember the name of it now. The tilt board. I can't even remember the name of it now. See how stupid I got in the whole hour? I got stupider. The slant board. Thank you. Slant board. Okay, let's see here. The bottom of the box has the angle, not the top. The bottom of the box has the angle, not the top. That is why you just look perplexed. Yes. I'll go back and visit that. But I think, guys, what we're going to do here is I've still got 2 more parts. The other part basically is going to be, let's close this. That one kicked my butt, wasted so much of our time. Let's see here. The dumbbell rack. So basically, I need 4 boards. Here, let's quickly, we got 15 minutes. All right, so let's close this, create a new file. Okay, so I know for a fact that coming from the floor down, this is going to be, I want it to stand, I believe, what I say that I wanted earlier. I want 38 inches tall, 38 inches in height. So we'll call that on our width 38. This is also going to be a 1x6, so 5.5 inches wide, and it's going to be 3/4 of an inch thick. There's going to be 3 of these. Now, if I were to draw this out in an angle, basically, let's draw this out. it is going to be 5.5 by 38. Okay. There is going to be an angle to this. I want there to be an angle to this, and let's rotate that off of this corner here. We're going to rotate it in 15-degree increments. That's the wrong way. Negative 15-degree increments. $15. I'm going to go 22 and a half. 22.5. Negative 22.5. Yeah, 22 and a half. All right, so that is going to be that. We're going to take a straight line, and I'm going to draw a straight line straight across here, 90 degrees. And I'm going to take a pair of scissors, and I'm going to trim this and this away. Okay, that's going to be my bottom foot here. Now I'm going to mirror this, mirror that. We're going to create a mirror copy. We're going to flip it horizontally. Okay, and we're going to move this to here. Like that. Let's get a guideline down here and make sure that we are kosher across the bottom there. We are good. Okay, so on this rack, I do want these pieces, I want them, they're going to kind of come together here. Okay, but I most likely, I think I'm going to miter these, but round them off and everything, because I don't want anything. I want a nice smooth round top. So I'm gonna go up 38, so we'll leave that at that. Let's go with a guideline here, rotate it 45 degrees. Okay, come over here and snap it there. Go into node editing, insert a point right there, delete that point there. Okay, get rid of that guideline, and why draw what you can copy. No, I can't do, Lainey, why are you so stupid today? I can't do, because I'm at a 22 degree angle, 22 and a half degree angle. I cannot do 45 degrees there for these joints to come together. So let's do this. Delete this span. Delete that span. Extend tool, extend this to here. Come on. There we go. Extend tool. And then we're going to take in node editing. We're going to smooth, you son of a gun. You're not going to let me smooth you? Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Motion detected at the door.
All right. And let's go with our measure tool real quick here. Let's measure an angle from this point here down this leg over to here. 15 degrees. Okay. All right. So 15 and 15 is 30. Okay. All right. So let's get rid of that. Now I could have, basically I could have done this. I didn't need to draw that line there. I could have on the angle tool come here, measure here over to here, and got my 30 degrees and just divide it by 2, right? All right, so I want I don't want it that high up, so somewhere right about here. Somewhere right about there. I want to kind of round that off. And that's, let me undo that real quick. Let me get my arc snapped to the right spot. All right, one more time. Here to here. Oh man, missed it completely. Come on, Lainey. You can do this. 1, 2. Take my scissors. Trim that away. Okay. Now, on this corner here, it's a fillet. I'm going to just, I'll end up, putting a fillet in there, and it'll probably be a 2-inch fillet, something like that. Who knows? I don't know. I might just leave it where it comes like that and just sand over the outer edges here on each of those legs. Now, this I'm going to have on the weights, we're going to go, probably I'll start with 5 pounds. But 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. All right, we'll go 45. That's 9 dumbbells. And let me see here. Excuse me. 9 dumbbells. And, oh, you guys heard the Ring doorbell? Yeah. Something set it off.
Cat.
The cat set it off. Okay, let's see here. Rubber dumbbell. Dimensions. I got the image. Okay. One by one, I will have to do them. Because I don't have, there's not one sheet that tells me the overall dimensions, but I do have, let me show you what I do have here. Save image as. All right, let me open that up. All right, so pretty much the handles are all the same, 1.25 inch diameter or 33 millimeters, 1.29 inches. They're all roughly about 5 inches in length. and that's what's going to hook on there. So my two sideboards, it's going to come up and everything on the frame. The dumbbell is going to hang in that. And so those boards are going to be spaced roughly, outside to outside 5 inches apart, right? But the dumbbell itself, because the size of the weight and everything, it will vary in diameter. And so a 45 degree rubber dumbbell, I mentioned it is going to be I had a misspelling. Sorry. I was like, wait a minute. It looks to be about 5. Where are you at, you son of a gun? Okay, bear with me, guys. When I need it, it's not there. Okay, this is what I want. Rubber enclosed hex dumbbell. Sorry, hex dumbbell. Dimension. Come on. Okay. It is 9 inches, 9.21 inches in height. And then 20 degree is about 5 inches. A 15 degree is about 3.9. I don't think there's any consistency where they grow like a certain spacing, all the way up. I think it kind of just basically is based on weight. I think. I don't know. So my larger number, which is going to be 9.21 inches. That is going to be at the bottom of the rack, and it's going to go up to the 5 pound at the top of that rack. And so imagine, if you will, let me just go here, 9-inch diameter circle. There's going to be, this will kind of hang out like this, because there's going to be some more wood here that kind of it hooks onto. That might sit in like that, but there'll be a place where the handle hooks into. The handle is 1.25 inches in diameter, so 1.25. Snap that to the center of the circle, and let's imagine, I don't think, these might sit down into notches. Might sit down into notches or something in there. If so, my boards might be a little bit wider. I might go with a little bit wider than that. But all right, let's call that there. All right, so that is the 45. The 40. Should have had all these dimensions already. The 40 looks to be 8.75. All right. Well, let's see. That might be wrong. That was kind of a hand drawing. Somebody did 8.75. Let's snap that in there. Might be a little bit smaller. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do every weight to 5 at this height based on that. Let me see something here. Those are all pretty consistent in size. The weight is based on the thinness of them. That's not the case with the dumbbell rack. All right, let me see this one here. Say all right, this it's blurry, but that's more kind of like, you know, what we're going for. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on that. The height, yeah, so that only goes up to 40 pounds. That's why there's only 8 instead of 9. The overall height is 54.5 inches high. 54.5 inches high. And I'm at 38. I would need, yeah, I got it. So I got to increase my height. I'm not going to get what I want out of 38 inches. Because that's what I want. But there'll be 9. So I may just start at 10 pounds instead of 5. But that's exactly what I want. But it's going to go at an angle. Now this rack right here, metal rack right here and all, with the weights, you know, is $1,700, right? Well, I want to build my rack. So this is the look I'd like to have, similar to this. Different, you know, the way the weights sit on it and all. I want notches in the boards and all. But I'm going to need to go at least 54 inches. So let's change that up real quick. And then we're going to call it a night, and we'll continue this next week. All right, so if that's the case, now I do want this to be rounded here. I do want that still. And I do want the 22.5 degree angle. I know I want that. So therefore, I'm just going to, if this is currently right now, let me make a relative guide, 38 inches. Okay, 43 inches. I was off 45 inches. Okay, so it's 44. Okay, 44 inches. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that one. All right, so if that's 44 inches and I need to go at least 54, 55, so if that's 44, let's go negative 11 inches. Hold on a second. Relative negative 11 inches. That's more like it. Now I can take and draw a line along the length of this here. I can get rid of that guide now. I can go into node editing. I can delete this span. I can delete this span. I can use my extend tool and extend this line to this line, this line to this line, this line to this line, and this to here. And I can go ahead and trim up that excess of that line, okay, to get my extra height. And so I will have to get the exact measurements of the dumbbells and everything so I can get the placement, but that's what I'm going to need to make. So that means since I'm going to be cutting these boards, I might as well cut this rounded shape here. So if I draw this line, you know, pretty much straight up here, okay, you know, on that center point, then I can come in and, you know, get rid of this. Let's get rid of these circles for right now. Rotate this, rotate this back to 360 minus 22.5 equals 337.5. Oh, you son of a gun. Well, if I'm at 0 there, which is 22.5 degrees, $90 minus 22.5 degrees $90 minus 22.5 degrees equals 67.5 degrees. Laney, why are you? What's going on with you, bud? What's going on with you? Okay. All right. Let's move this. I am struggling now. All right, let's move that. Let's rotate that. Let's bring that down to here. Rotate that down. Okay. So my project board is going to have to be at least 56 inches, which means I'll have to tile this one as well. I'm sorry. 60 inches. And I'll have to tile that one as well. Well, you son of a gun. 60. Okay. And then I'll have to draw out, I have to get the weight dimensions and and then I'll have to draw it out. All right, everybody, listen, it's 10:13. I've held you all long enough. This is one of those things, you know, where live becomes live. let's look and see. Sylvia says maybe there's some free plans online. Maybe so. We'll have to look and see. Just watched a video and it's flat. Oh, okay. Big Daddy Fish just watched the video and it's flat. So I will have to. Do you remember Big Daddy Fish? If you're still in the group, tell me. Can you in the chat tell me what you typed in to search for the video? Did you just do Slant Board or something? It did, Kool-Aid. The first project got me all messed up tonight. Just kind of wrecked my whole brain because I wasn't expecting it to take that long. I mean, it's only 4 pieces, and one of them is just a square board. It's a slant box. It's not that hard. I mean, I don't know why I'm struggling with it. Let's see here. Let's see here. Definitely build your own. Yeah, definitely build my own. All right, so I do plan on building it. The ladder rack, the climbing rack, that was easy. That was easy enough. That'll work out just fine. I'll be picking up the wood and the dowels for that tomorrow. I'll also be picking up the wood for all of these and everything. But I will, in the meantime, tonight, the rest of the evening, I'll be spending getting the exact dimensions that I'll need for the spacing. Because I want to give it some room, I wanted to give it some room so they're not like stacked on top of each other. But it's going to be basically 45s all the way in 5-degree increment, or 5-pound increments all the way up to 10s. We'll stop at 10s. But on each side, so 2 45s, 40s, 35s, 30s, 25s, 20s, all the way up. There's going to be, we'll do 8 dumbbells, so that'll give me plenty of spacing. And they get smaller, they get smaller as they go up. So I just got to figure out what the dimensions are. And there's a place that has all the dimensions and everything for the kind that I'm ordering. So I don't have them to measure them, and I'm almost tempted to. I work out at Gold's Gym here in Ocala. I'm tempted to take my tape measure to the gym tomorrow. Just start measuring because it's going to be the same brand, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, everybody, we will. Get something. Hopefully, so tonight we played around a little bit with guidelines, right? So you see, we did that and everything. We're dealing with angles and all, which screwed me up. And I'm going to go watch this video. Big Daddy said he found a video of it, so I'm going to go find that video and check it out. Maybe that'll help me visually. And but then we're going to build this. So I'm going to be filming this build. I've still got to finish part 2 of the chest of drawers build. The weather has gotten so cold and I have to paint outside. So right now it's kind of not the right ideal temperatures to be painting. So that's kind of why the part 2 of that video hasn't come out yet. But I'm going to be filming the builds of making these things and stuff. And so it's going to be interesting because I still got my little push-up pads that I'm going to make and all kinds of stuff. So stick with me. We're going to do this little series. Now, I'm not going to do these series back to back. I will finish this up next week. But, we're going to have regular projects, some basic stuff and everything. And then we're going to come back and by that time I'll have some more designs and stuff to do. But at some point in time, you're going to see a video of me out in the yard digging holes, putting up posts, and building the, for better word, Ninja Warrior course. But it's a outdoor calisthenics gym. Calisthenics gym. So that's what my next big project is. All right, everybody. Until next time. Yes. Yeah, Kool-Aid. It's going to be built on Build It TV, the other video channel. Will be the full actual build, and stuff. All right, everybody. Until next time, I will see you soon. Thanks for joining me. Y'all have a great night. We will finish this up. We didn't get very far tonight. I kind of got a little bit flustered. That's the whole thing about being live. I should have been a little bit more prepared, but literally it was only, you saw how late I posted the advertisement of tonight's class. It was literally only 30 minutes before we started. And I had no idea what I was going to make or design until 30 minutes before we started. I said, oh, you know what? I need to make these parts, so this would be a great class, right? So I only had 30 minutes to prepare mentally. All right. Until next time, guys and girls. See ya.